Okay, so you've heard of your heart, right? Your lungs, your brain, the big name players. But what if I told you there's another massive network running through your entire body, a silent guardian that's absolutely essential to keeping you alive? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this unsung hero, the lymphatic system. To really get why this system is such a big deal, we have to start with a kind of surprising, maybe even a little alarming fact. Your circulatory system is leaking all the time. Yeah, right now, as you're listening, nutrient-rich fluid is literally seeping out of your smallest blood vessels and into your body's tissues. So how does that even happen? Well, it all comes down to pressure. Think about a sprinkler hose with lots of tiny little holes. As your heart pumps blood out through your arteries, they get smaller and smaller until they're these microscopic capillaries. The pressure in there is so intense, it actually forces some of the watery part of your blood, the plasma, right through the capillary walls. This is a good thing. It's how your cells get a refreshing bath of oxygen and nutrients. Now, your veins do a pretty good job of soaking most of that fluid back up, but they're not perfect. They miss some. About 15% of it, in fact. Now, I know 15% might not sound like a lot, but it really adds up. We're talking about 3 liters of fluid every single day. That's more than a giant bottle of soda just left behind, stranded in your tissues. And that leads to a pretty logical question, doesn't it? If your body is constantly leaking all this fluid, day in and day out, why aren't we all just puffing up like water balloons? What's preventing this from becoming a total disaster? And this is where our hero finally makes its entrance. The lymphatic system. It is the body's brilliant, absolutely essential drainage network. It's the specialized cleanup crew that swoops in to deal with that constant leak, saving us all from a very, very soggy fate. So what's really wild is just how different this system is from your regular blood circulation. Your circulatory system, that's a closed loop. It's a perfect two-way highway with the heart acting as a powerful pump. The lymphatic system, though, it's a one-way street. There's no central pump. Its entire design is just to collect that lost fluid and guide it on a one-way trip back home to the bloodstream. And the real magic starts with these incredible little things, the lymphatic capillaries. Picture these tiny dead-end tubes with walls made of overlapping cells. They basically form these little one-way swinging doors. When the fluid pressure builds up outside in the tissues, the doors swing open, letting all that fluid plus proteins, and, this is key, any stray bacteria or other junk sneak in. But once it's inside, the pressure difference slams the doors shut, trapping it all for the next part of its journey. Okay, so the second that fluid slips past those swinging doors, it gets a brand new identity. It's no longer just tissue fluid. It's now called lymph, and its remarkable journey through this dedicated network is officially underway. So let's walk through the whole journey, step by step. First up, you've got that extra fluid, the interstitial fluid, hanging out in your tissues. Second, it gets picked up by those lymphatic capillaries and gets its new name, lymph. Third, it starts traveling through bigger and bigger vessels, getting pushed along simply by you moving your muscles. But here's where it gets really important. Step 4. Before that fluid is allowed back into your blood, it has to pass through a series of security checkpoints or filters called lymph nodes. And only after it's been scanned and cleaned in step 5 does it finally get returned to your bloodstream, right up near your collarbones in the subclavian veins. So what are these security checkpoints? Well, they're the famous lymph nodes. You've got hundreds of these little bean-shaped organs all over your body. You should think of them as these super high-tech water treatment plants, where every single drop of lymph gets rigorously inspected for anything dangerous. And inside these little command centers, you've got armies of specialized immune cells. The first responders are the macrophages and dendritic cells. Their job is pretty straightforward. They literally hunt down and gobble up any invaders they find. But then they take pieces of those invaders and show them to the special forces, the T cells and B cells. These are the real strategists. They launch these incredibly specific, targeted attacks, create powerful antibodies, and, crucially, they remember the enemy, so your body is ready if it ever gets invaded again. You know, just when we think we've got the human body all mapped out, this system throws us a curveball. For ages, medical textbooks said the brain was totally separate, that it didn't have any lymphatic vessels. Well, that whole idea got flipped on its head in 2015. Researchers discovered a whole network of these vessels right there in the brain. This is a total game changer for understanding diseases like Alzheimer's, and it's just an amazing reminder that we're still drawing the map of our own bodies. All right, so we've seen our hero in action, doing its thing. But what happens when the hero fails? What if the drainage system gets clogged up or the cleanup crew just stops working? Well, that leads to a really serious condition called lymphedema. See, when that lymph fluid can't drain properly, it starts to back up. And look, this is way more than just simple puffiness. That trapped fluid is full of cellular waste, and it triggers this constant low-grade inflammation. Over time, that inflammation leads to something called fibrosis, which means the tissue itself actually starts to get hard and thick, almost like internal scar tissue. So what causes these blockages? Well, sometimes it's a primary issue, something rare that a person is born with. But most of the time, it's secondary, meaning it's caused by something else. Around the world, the #1 cause is a terrible parasitic infection called filariasis. But for a lot of people, especially in developed countries, the most common cause is actually a side effect of fighting cancer. When lymph nodes have to be removed or get damaged by surgery or radiation, it can break that crucial drainage pathway. And this condition, it progresses in these really distinct stages. It can start at stage 0 or latent, where the damage is there, but you can't see any swelling yet. Then in stage 1, you start to see what's called a pitting edema. You know, where you can press a finger into the skin and the dent just stays there for a second. By stage 2, it's considered irreversible. The tissue gets spongy because that fibrosis has really started to set in. And in the most severe stage, stage 3, the swelling is extreme and irreversible, and the skin itself can become hard and damaged. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it becomes crystal clear. This isn't just a simple plumbing system. It's an incredibly sophisticated, dual-role defender that is absolutely fundamental to your health every single day. So let's just quickly recap its absolute core missions. #1, fluid balance. It's the master plumber preventing us from swelling up. #2, immune defense. It's our body's high-tech surveillance and security force. And get this, there's even a third critical job we barely touched on. It's also in charge of absorbing dietary fats from your gut and getting them into your bloodstream. A true multitasker, right? So, the next time you just think about your own body, take a second to remember this invisible river flowing inside you, constantly cleaning, balancing, and defending you. This hidden network is on guard 24/7. And it really makes you wonder, right? What other incredible secrets are our bodies still waiting to tell us?